We know that serious talk about UAPs has moved from the tinfoil hat crowd to the halls of Congress. That's because it's turned into something more than little green men. It's about potential threats to our military and national security. One of the most committed and outspoken members of the so-called UAP caucus is Republican Representative Eric Burlison of Missouri. Now, we've been talking about those two key provisions in the NDAA gutted by House Republicans. Representative Burlison was not one of the congressmen behind that effort. An avid supporter of UAP transparency, he told me moments ago that what's left of the UAP amendment doesn't bring us any closer to the truth. When it comes to the UAP transparency amendment and what's been watered down in this defense bill, David Grush called this, quote, the greatest legislative failure in U.S. history. You have said it's a gutted, watered-down version of what the American people deserve. This is not what your caucus worked so hard to get.
Yeah, this language is a joke, and I'm not laughing. And I don't think the American people should be happy. If anything, I hope that everyone is as disappointed as I am, but I want the American people to know that it doesn't mean that we're not going to keep trying. You know, while this language might be in this bill this year, that it's something that we can now work towards improving and making sure that the deep state is not able to evade this new disclosure that we're trying to accomplish.
Do you buy David Grush's allegations that Representatives Mike Rogers and Mike Turner stonewalled that UAP amendment because their biggest donors are government defense contractors?
You know, I don't get involved in slinging mud at my colleagues, and I certainly couldn't speak to that because I'm not on the committee. I don't know exactly where the pressure points were, so I really couldn't speak to that. But I will say that at the end of the day, we have a lot of resolve, and I think that you've seen myself, Congressman Burchett, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, and others, Matt Gaetz, who are all working together towards an effort. And while they may have slowed us down and stymied us on this, we're going to be around next year and hopefully be able to get some further progress on this.
Why do you think the pushback? I mean, as Congressman Moskowitz said, that's why he all of a sudden began to believe there really was something there, because there seems to be so much stonewalling.
Yeah, and as I've said before, I'm a skeptic. I would assume that there isn't something there. You've got to show me. You've got to demonstrate to me that something is there. But to Moskowitz's point, I'm seeing the same thing. There certainly is a pushback from the intel community against us having access to this information.
One day after Grush's historic testimony in front of Congress, you proposed an amendment in the House to renew Grush's security clearance, which would allow him to go into a skiff with all of you and share all the classified information that he knows. David Grush told me yesterday that that still hasn't happened. Why not?
I put that amendment onto one of the appropriation bills, and unfortunately the appropriation bills have not made it through the final process. So, but when we get to any kind of renewals, if they decide to do an omnibus or they decide to do a continuing resolution, I can take that same language and try to attach it to any of those efforts.
You are one of the 4 original members of the UAP caucus. Do you want to call another public hearing with more testimony on this issue? And if you do, will you recall David Grush again?
Yeah, and I think that especially given that he's come out today with some information that he says that he's been released to be able to release more information than he has before. And so hopefully we can learn some new things from him. And frankly, Elizabeth, what's nice is the more that we're involved in this, the more that we are looking into this, the more educated our questions are, the more that we can narrow in the questions that we need to ask.
All right. Congressman Eric Burlison, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Good luck on your quest for more information. It's been a long one so far.
Thank you. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.